What's up, fellow collectors? Welcome back to the M.I.B. Master Toy Museum. I'll be your curator today. Guys, I'm on my second cup of coffee, and I do my best thinking, guys, when I have my coffee. You know what time it is, guys. It's coffee time with M.I.B. Grab your favorite brand of coffee. Grab a seat, guys, and sit back and relax. You're going to like this one. Guys, I have here some of my favorite Action Man figures. I believe the majority of these are from the 40th anniversary wave that came out years ago. But it got me to thinking. I was in our archives, and these are some of our multiple figures that I'll use on certain occasions. So I have duplicates, actually. So these are duplicates. And it got me to thinking when I was watching some old videos on YouTube, some Action Man videos. It just got me thinking. I said, you know what? What happened to Action Man? You know, I've been carrying on lately about G.I. Joe and Hasbro and things of that nature. We did some videos on that. But it got me to thinking. I went down to our museum archives, and I pulled out a few of these guys, and I was just looking at them. These were absolutely beautiful figures. And the vintage Action Man figures are absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful figures. From their lifelike hair to their eagle eyes and gripping hands. Or kung fu grip, whichever you prefer. But it got me to thinking, what happened to this beautiful toy line? We want especially our UK subscribers and viewership to really weigh in on this topic, guys. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, whatever you want, whatever your beverage is, guys. It's coffee time. And we have the topic of discussion, what happened to Action Man? Will we see Action Man on toy store shelves again? Now, mind you, I say this with the complete knowledge that a few years ago, Action Man was re-released. But to my knowledge, the figure that was released, or the figures, I should say, that were released, were very poorly done. And I'm going off of a lot of collectors from the UK and collectors that were fortunate enough to obtain these figures. They were poorly made, very, very minimum articulation. So movement was very limited. I don't know if these figures were made, these newer ones a few years ago were made more or less as a tribute to the Action Man toy line, strictly for collectors, enthusiasts. But from what I'm being told, the figure was definitely not made to be played with and put in all these fantastic poses that we have become accustomed to seeing our Action Man being able to do. Was it Palatoy? Who's in charge of Action Man? Who created it? I believe it was Palatoy. But at any rate, guys, this is a toy line like G.I. Joe that should be put back on the market. Can Hasbro do it? You know, one subscriber had a fantastic point on re-releasing G.I. Joe and why it's so difficult. He said primarily because of the cost. The cost and production that it would take to create these figures again, from the beautiful clothing, the weapons, the accessories, you name it, the plastic used, the materials to create these figures would be so expensive that even if, you know, most collectors that are in love with Action Man and G.I. Joe, even if they wanted to, they just simply wouldn't be able to buy these or purchase these figures in high volume, or high enough volume to where Palatoy or Hasbro, whoever wanted to produce these figures, could make a profit off of them. And once again, you would probably be catering to the older demographic, the kids of the 60s, the kids of the 70s, and the kids of the 80s, probably half of the 80s maybe. But adult collectors, well into their 40s, well into their 50s, and some into their 60s. That's who you'd be catering to. And maybe Hasbro or Palatoy or whoever would take on this type of, or would think about taking on this type of project on a mass scale, would have to take all of that into account. Guys, it's coffee time. We hope everyone's enjoying this segment. We want you guys to chime in. What happened to Action Man? This is an iconic figure. He is G.I. Joe's brother. He's not second place to G.I. Joe. He's G.I. Joe's equal. That's how he's viewed, especially in the UK, where this figure is absolutely beloved. And rightfully so. While collecting G.I. Joes, I started to find these beautiful figures on a toy site called Cotswold Collectibles. And I said, you know, I absolutely have to start adding these beautiful Action Man figures to our museum collection. And if I like a figure enough, guys, I buy multiples. So I bought multiples of these figures. The weight of these figures, the beautiful clothing, everything. And these are the 40th anniversary figures. I would like to see Action Man back on toy store shelves. Will it happen? Can it happen? Who do we need to talk to make it happen? These are the questions, guys. Maybe you guys can provide some of the answers. A toy line that's gone but simply not forgotten at any capacity. Guys, we're just hanging out down here in our museum, scratching our head and trying to figure out why one of the most beloved, popular toy lines simply isn't on toy store shelves. There's a market for it. Just like G.I. Joe, there's a market for Action Man. And sure, a few new Action Men were put out a few years ago, but we haven't heard anything since. I mean, Hasbro did that with G.I. Joe back in 2011. They put out about 5 or 6 G.I. Joes, and we never heard from them since. Years and years and years have gone by, and 2 of the most popular 12-inch brands on the planet, G.I. Joe and Action Man, are non-existent. Tragedy, circumstance, we'll leave that up for you to decide. But definitely an injustice to collectors all around the world that fell in love with this beautiful toy line. What happened to Action Man? Guys, if anybody has any information that they can share with us on news of Action Man, if he's coming back, if you've heard anything, you just want to share your opinion, all of that is welcome. Because I need to know. Once again, I do my best thinking over a cup of coffee. And this is what popped in my head today. Where on earth is Action Man on our toy stores' shelves? In our toy stores. Where are these guys? Guys, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please do so. We have fantastic forums like this, giveaways, you name it. If you have not joined our channel, subscribe. We would love to have you. You know the routine, guys. God bless. And keep collecting.